It is Thursday, May the 8th. We are live at the New York Stock Market morning session. Glad that everybody can join us and hope you're all doing well. I'm going to take a look at news for today. And we have for today some red news. For today, no red news today. Some red news out of the U.S.
Well, we had red news.
We do have. Yeah, we did have red news. Unemployment. And it came relatively close to forecast, so I don't think that had much movement on the markets then. Any noticeable change in the market with the red news, George?
Yeah, it went in the right direction for me. I was in a counter trend trade, I think, at the time. I forget now which it was.
I see.
Anyway,
but nothing, not a noticeable
nothing
jump.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
No,
because it came almost on the with the forecast of.
Yeah.
They forecasted 231K and came in at 228, so that's pretty close. And so we have lots of red news out of Britain, and that's where everything's happening.
And I think Trump is going to be saying something today to, I don't know what time, etc.
10 o'clock, they says.
10 o'clock, okay.
Yeah. So we shall see if that...
So that's apparently going to be something, possibly something with tariffs in Great Britain.
Mm-hmm. All right. So looking at the U.S. dollar versus the Euro U.S. dollar, we have the U.S. dollar making a move.
Martin.
Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Martin. We have the U.S. dollar making a move to the upside, although short term here it's in a downward mode. Euro U.S. dollar in the overall downward mode, but in the short term making a push to the upside. So, but I think they will continue their trends. A euro continuing to the downside, U.S. dollar continuing to the upside. So, a little bit of a weakness on the U.S. dollar currently. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin, which is almost hit 100,000 again. So I was calling for this kind of move because I was an optimist and I didn't want to see the markets collapsing. And this is what has occurred, fortunately. So when we were down here back in September, down in this area here in September, October, we had this 1, 2, 3 bottom and another 1, 2, 3 bottom. And then we get this big move. So at this point, we realize where we are in the markets and the charts. And so the expectation is that price is going to come back to take out the highs. And we're seeing that move now, taking shape and they're pushing towards those highs. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin to do that. So my thoughts on the indices was that it looked precarious that we could have a collapse. But if Bitcoin is continuing its push to the upside, then optimistically we should be moving to the upside with the indices. So
Armin's trying to get on, Lennox.
All right, you could let's see if we can find them here. If you could find them, I found them. Okay, here we go. All right. So taking a look at the indices on NASDAQ, for instance, you can see the difference in the charts in that we didn't get that sideways movement like like Bitcoin did down here back in September, but we did get a similar 1, 2, 3 move. I'm going to put those back on. So at this point here, when we had the 1, 2, 3, we did get a 1, 2, 3 on the NAS right there, and then we had this move to the upside. So I was looking for price to, do the same kind of thing as Bitcoin and then push back again to the upside. However, they came way, 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 way down, taking out these lows down here. So you see the difference in the charts because we've taken out these lows down here where Bitcoin did not. It looked a bit scary and precarious that maybe something was in the making to bring us back down again. So looking at the charts, because we broke those lows, it looked very bad at that point that, whoops, maybe they were going to come back up and then do something like this. But since Bitcoin is very strong, it's looking perhaps that we could see a push on the indices to go and take out these highs. However, it's not a for sure at this point still. We're still in a precarious position. We could see this drop, but I'm hoping that that's not the case and it doesn't happen because it's not good for anyone to see that kind of drop again. So we shall see how this plays out, but with Bitcoin's strength, that should give the indices some positivity going forward as well. All right, so welcome to those on YouTube. We are the 1, 2, 3 traders. What we're looking for are 1, 2, 3 bottoms and 1, 2, 3 tops. And what are 1, 2, 3s? 1, 2, 3s are low point, high point, low point, or low point, high point, low point. So those are two huge 1, 2, 3s here, two very large 1, 2, 3s. There are also smaller 1, 2, 3s, like 1, 2, 3 here, and so on. Those are the bottoms. A 1, 2, 3 top would be 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, something like that. And there's also a 1, 2, 3 top here, 1, 2, and 3. So the criteria for 1, 2, 3 is that number 3 point cannot break number 1 point. That's the only rule we have. And when we're looking to enter the trade is we want to see a retrace between 1 and 2 down to about a 50%, the 50% area. Typically 50 to 62% is the ideal area for a retrace of between points 1 and 2 for number 3 to appear, and then we enter the trade and take that up to a certain Fibonacci, which is typically, and my favorite is 1.618. So that's our model. That's how we trade. That's what we look for, and that's basically it. All right, so we got about 7 minutes before the market opens. So let's go down and see what's going on the lower time frame here. We play off the 1 minute time frame, and we use the higher time frames to give us our bias direction. So here's the daily on the NAS. So as I marked off on the weekly, this is a 1, 2, 3 here. This is a very large 1, 2, 3. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, then the reason why I was very concerned that we could get this move down is because if that's a 1, 2, 3, then this puts us in a fourth wave, and that we would expect to move back down to take out these lows down here. So that's the worst case scenario here. If I'm hoping I'm wrong, and maybe the 1, 2, 3 was a smaller little version, and this was, and then we're done at this point. But it's still a possibility that I'm correct and we could fall, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong in this case. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame, we've had this big, strong move to the upside. So this is our recent high. We're looking to break it now. So it looked like we could come back down, but now we kind of slid sideways here. This was typically a fourth wave that we're in, and we got an A and a B and a C and a D and an E leg, and now we're pushing out, taking out the highs here, and look to continue pushing to the upside. Of course, in the short term, we could get a pullback first before we continue, but that's the trajectory at this point that hopefully we can continue going in. So on the hourly, there's our hourly. So we came through this big, huge, dramatic channel here, dropping all the way down. Now we created a 1, 2, 3 bottom at this point. That pushes us up. We could see a little bit of a retrace here or not, and then a continuation to the upside. So if we're going to get a retrace, we would be looking for a retrace between this low, this high, and this low here. So about a 50% retrace would be in line. So I'm going to mark off the gap. This is the hourly gap. I'll mark off that hourly gap. There's also one here. I'm going to mark that one. So we're already at that one here, and it's going to be smaller because it's already been partially mitigated. So the entire gap was this big at one point, but we came down with this red candle, so I can use the bottom of the low of the candle now as the gap because it's been partially mitigated. So looking for that. Okay, so now drop to the 30 minutes. We've got about 4 minutes to go. And again, get rid of this guy here. We're pushing to the upside. So here's my 1, 2, 3 bottom. There's my 1, there's my 2, there's my 3. And we have pushed up quite nicely. And so we could see a pullback to here, perhaps, maybe even down to this level. This is the 50% mark of between this high and this low. So 50% is an ideal area for them to come back before we continue. Okay, so 15-minute time frame, that's what it looks like here on the 15. So we are coming down. You can see that on the 15. On the 5-minute, got on the 5-minute, we're coming down quite nicely. So on the 5-minute, I can clearly see we've got a 1, 2, 3 top at this point. We've dropped back up, dropped again, back up. So we're either done at this point or we're coming down one more time to take out these lows and come into this gap. So yesterday I got fooled. If you remember yesterday, I got fooled. I thought we were done when we got to this point. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. I thought we were done and we were going to be heading up. And instead they did drop it one more time, because what really is happening is that this 1, 2, 3 at this point gives us our structure, yes. However, this entire move takes us down to our first target area. So that would be our 3, really. And we use Elliott wave theory. So this would become our 1 and 2 in Elliott wave. And this would be our number 3 point. And then we are in the 4th wave, and we can fall through one more time to take out this low. So yesterday they fooled us, fooled me anyways. I thought we were done, and instead they came down, took out the low. So this could happen again this morning. So that's why I'm marking it this way, because, all right, so that's on the 5. So on the 1-minute time frame with 2 minutes to go, we are looking a little bit lean, looking like we could come down and take out these lows down here, no problem here. So got a 1, 2, 3 top there. We've dropped back up, looking very weak here at this point. So if I were to get a retrace back into this area here, might present us with a sell opportunity. We also have a inverted gap here. And so a retrace back in here, I would put a sell on. So we're 1 minute to go. And we're off. Looks like, let's see if I get a retrace. If I get a retrace, I'm going to take the sell right away. If I get back into this level here. they came very close, but did not drop into it. Oh, and I did not, there's a little gap right there. That one was in the sweet spot area. Look at that. They did come in and touch it, and it's very fast. I look away for a split second, and I miss it. I've got a couple of screens going, 3 screens going here, and I looked away and I didn't see it. I was looking at Bitcoin. So there was what I was looking for, this touch in here to jump in, and I miss it because I looked away. So got to be vigilant. You got to be watching these charts all the time if you want to play, especially at this time in the morning. And so that's all it takes is that little move. So they came right back into exactly where I wanted them to come to for that entry, and I looked away for a split second and missed it. So that was the entry. There's a 1, 2, 3, and that's our entry, and that's like a perfect entry there because we have retraced from this low to this high.
Yeah, we just hit 100%,
50 to 60%, 50 to 60% retrace. So that's the move I was expecting to take out this low. So doesn't count if you're not in, but that's the call, right? I called it, but I couldn't get in. So that's basically what it is. Now, last night I was playing and the NAS here, and all of a sudden around just after 8 o'clock, when I was fooling around in the markets there, no, it was before then. This is 3, 4. This is around, it's in this time here. I believe it might be this one, but one of these. I caught a beautiful move here to the upside. It was quite sudden. All of a sudden, I was sitting on a 1, 2, 3 down here, and so this is at 3:30. So it wasn't that, it was later. So it was in the 8 o'clock area. I caught this move here, and quite a move on NASDAQ. Bitcoin did a similar move as well. At that same time, big huge move here. So just to show you, when I'm sitting and trading in the evenings when I'm sitting and trading in the evenings without looking at a bunch of charts, I'm just concentrating on either NASDAQ or Bitcoin. And you can see I've had quite a run of trades here without any losses. And my last loss was yesterday morning. And then after that, I've strung together, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 580, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trades in a row without a loss. So let's see if I can continue that this morning. So in one of those trades, the one that I caught, that big move, was a huge one. I made almost 100,000. Actually, I was over 100,000 on that trade, but it ended up being that when I did see the exit, I got out a little lower than I wanted to, but $96,960 trade. So it was quite a huge boon at that moment. So to get $100,000 trade in one trade was just super. So I'm now at almost 2,800,000 in my account, looking to get to 3 million by mid-May. That was my goal. And I'm still 7 days away, so hopefully I can do it. If I can do $100,000 trade in a day, maybe I can actually pull it off. So that is Bitcoin very pushing back up. So maybe the NAS has turned around already. And no, not really. Okay, so we've got on the NAS. This big drop. So everybody knows where we are now, right? We've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We've dropped, and now we're chopping. So likely scenario is that we continue down one more time, taking these lows out again. So opportunity perhaps for another sell in here. Any gaps? No gaps as yet. So in the interim, Bitcoin has made quite a big push to the upside. Interesting. So this is the 9:30 open on Bitcoin. Right here. And then we went. So on Bitcoin's given us a gap already. So there's our first gap on Bitcoin. So I'll mark that first gap off. See if we come back to that gap again. It's possible or not. So we do have another one here. So see if we'll come back to, whereas the NAS has not had a gap as yet. So this would have been a nice trade had I been able to pull the trigger. That's a beautiful trade right there.
I thought you got that.
No, I was looking at Bitcoin, and when I looked back, they spiked up.
Yeah,
and that was a quick
I
wick.
grabbed that.
Great, excellent. That's wonderful. That's a really nice setup there. So there's our 1, 2, 3, and so target of 1.618 was right here. That's just below the previous
hit that
lows.
nicely.
Yeah, that's beautiful play right there to our target of 1.618 area. It's just an area. You can take profits off in this area. 1.618 is my favorite, but there's 1.414, 1.272, even 100% target from our number 3 point is reasonable as well for a target. So you got 4 targets here really, and you could even go 200% if you feel really brave. So that gives you 5 targets in that area to aim for. So there is the retrace, looking for them to come and take out the lows again at this point. So could have sold it here again to continue down one more time. I'm chatting away here and not paying attention to trading. So, all right. And there we go. They've taken the low again. So look at Bitcoin now. If we go back over to Bitcoin, it's dropped right back down, cut right through its first gap that it made. So you can see we did come back through it and taken out the lows. So this is a very violent move. We did not, still haven't broken 100,000 as yet. Let's see what they're doing here overall. So they're either thinking about taking out the lows here, which is a possibility, or we're going to turn around in this area and go back up. But we do have a gap here on the 5-minute. See how the 15-minute looks. So 15-minute time frame, you can see that on the 15-minute, we could certainly come down and take out those lows first before we continue up. We have gaps down here and so forth. Well, we're sitting right at an order block at this point, so maybe that will keep us up. Well, we'll see. Looking like they want to go through. So this gap is kind of holding. There's another gap, a smaller gap below on the 1 minute here. Okay. So how's Tesla doing there, Peter? Oh, Tesla opened with strength, eh? Wow. So we got a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom on Tesla, and they open with a gap, big gap here. Open with a bang. So that's quite interesting that the S&P and the NAS are falling, and Tesla is moving up. So S&P falling, NAS falling, and Tesla going the opposite way. So now Bitcoin has taken out the low. So that was an expected move that they would take out that low. So they have. And we can see why they've taken out the low, because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. So if we have a 1, 2, 3 here, then our structure tells us that we should expect that move to take out that low. So now we could look for a move back to the upside. So we could look for a 1, 2, 3 down here to continue back up. So let's see if we get that. Keep my eye on that. Let's go back to the NAS. I'm jumping around a lot here now, so it's a bit. All right, so there is our first gap on the NAS. There's a tiny one there. It's a very tiny, very small one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm low on the arrow 3. It was arrow 3, number 3.
It's a bigger one there. So this is really our first one, although it's quite small. I'll mark it anyways.
I guess it would be all right. I guess it would be okay.
Please mute yourself, George.
Let me turn my mic off.
Thank you. Okay, so, all right, so looking for on the NAS here, I'll pull back. And then I see there's a little gap here as well. We'll mark these gaps off to show you possibility of where price can come back to. So price, we could get a retrace back into this. There's a regular gap here, just a regular 2 candle gap, as opposed to the fair value gaps that ICT talks about. So looking for possible retrace back here, that would present a buy opportunity. And that was very close to touching. There we go. So I would buy it there. And let's see if we continue up at this point. How's Tesla? Tesla is just strong, so there's not much room for entry here on Tesla. Bitcoin, similar setup for Bitcoin, came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now turning around to head back to the upside here. And NAS, looking for them to push out. My stop loss would be below this low here to start off. So I'd like to see them take out this high. That would be a good move there. And then we could get a retrace and a continuation. So something like that. Let's see if we can take out this high here first, or these highs, equal highs there. That would give me an opportunity to take something off the table. No, they come back into the gap again. They're giving everybody a second chance to get in here. Wow, interesting. So I'd like to see them get out of here, but now they're coming down below, so they're I could be in trouble since they break that level. But if we just wick it, then it's okay. So let's see if we can just keep wicks here and just continue going up. So we've got a second opportunity to get in, third opportunity to get in. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Now, I didn't want to put my stop way down here because the risk is just way too high. So I'd rather take a smaller risk at this point. So they're very close to taking me out now. We've got a nice looking 1, 2, 3. So let's see if we can push out. What S&P looks like.
Right now, we have a nice 1, 2, 3 on the NAS that went down to 62%.
Yeah, I'd like to see them push out of there now.
Almost hit 79%, but that's on a wick. I'm thinking that this is going to do a lot of putzing around until we get close to that 10 o'clock news.
All right, we do have a 10 o'clock news coming up. Oh, so they did take me out. Okay, so that did not work. So it looks like they want to take the low again. All right, that's interesting. So they decided they wanted to take out the low. So that's why I didn't want to put my stop way down here, because just in case they decided to do that, then my risk becomes super high. And I'd rather take a smaller risk. And so there's my first loss since in 13 trades. So we'll look for a new 1, 2, 3 now.
Well, we have much higher volatility right now too.
Yes, of course. So they took this out just by a little bit. So a lot of people will go in a trade like this, put their stops below this low, and some people put it really tight. Some people put it wide. So, is it safe? Maybe not, because we do have a 1, 2, 3 there, so they could go a lot lower. And so your stop is never really safe down here. And you can see this exactly what I'm saying. So they can come lower. So it looked like we might be done at that point, but obviously we're not done. So again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looked like that will be done. So now it's saying that this is our 3 at this point. So in Elliott wave terms, this is our 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm fooled. And then they've taken the low one more time. So I would need to look for a new 1, 2, 3 to continue back up a little lower. And the same thing is happening on Bitcoin. So I didn't jump in on Bitcoin either, because Bitcoin was showing me that, yes, they wanted to go lower, more so than NASDAQ was. NASDAQ seemed like it was ready to go back, but not so. All right, so let's see where they're heading here. Go up to the 5 minute. Can't see anything. 15 minute. Okay, so where are we going to? We've got some gaps over here. There's a number of gaps. And then there is an order block here. So I would think that perhaps they might come to this lowest one here and maybe go through that one, possibly. On Bitcoin, let's see how NASDAQ looks. On the 15, we were touching that gap that I said that was a possibility that we could come into, and here we are. That's a big 15-minute gap there. Actually, that's an hourly gap, if I'm not mistaken. It is an hourly gap, yes. So we're coming into that hourly gap. So on the 15-minute, here, and there's big order blocks here as well. So we could be ready for a turnaround now that we've touched into that hourly gap. So I'm back to the 1 minute looking for an entry. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 right there on the seconds chart there.
We have to be careful this doesn't make a new low again.
Well, they could possibly come a little lower, take that low again into there's the midpoint of the gap, this dotted line. So we could come one more time and take that low, or we could be done here. So if I get a fractal here, and a fractal is just a three candle low, 2 higher lows, or fractal high and 2 lower highs beside it. So that's your swing. And there we got it right there, and I'm chatting away again and I'm not paying attention. So that's my fractal entry opportunity there. But it looks like we could possibly drop one more time. In the interim, I jumped into Bitcoin and catching that move there. So I've made my loss back. So let me just take a quick partial on Bitcoin.
Well, it's moving quickly now.
So, yeah, it's moving very quickly. So yeah, I took advantage of Bitcoin's move here and get my loss back right away. So I've got a gap here. And I could actually put my stop into positive here so I don't lose on this trade, which is the ideal. Because there's a gap there, I don't want to come too tight. So that's a nice move there on Bitcoin. I'm going to take the profit right off here because we could expect a pullback imminently here. So yeah, let's take the profit there. So there's the pullback. So I can always jump back in again. So don't want to have that pullback take all my profit off. So take the profit and see if we can come back into this gap, and that will give us another opportunity for a move to the upside. Okay, so back to NAS. So NAS is looking like it wants to drop one more time to take this low. So we do have a large 1, 2, 3 there, another 1, 2, 3. So a drop, we can chop in here and then drop one more time. So it looks like they want to come down to this middle of the gap here. So if Bitcoin can come back into the gap here, so we can get a pullback into this gap, that would be really good. And you could put a stop down, either down at the low or below this candle. So technically, if we did get a retrace back into the gap here for an entry, your stop should be below the low technically, because of this is the candle that created the gap. However, you can put your stop in below the middle candle's low, but you take a risk of being wicked out. They use the wickedness, the wicks, because they're wicked and take you out. So if we get that retrace, that is, doesn't mean that we're going to get a retrace. We were expecting one, but there's not any assurance that we'll get one. If there's a lot of strength here, we could just go without getting any retrace. They did pull back a little bit here, so that could be construed as the retrace at that point. So there is a second gap here. So that might have been sufficient for them to drop into that and go. There's also an inverted gap on the other side. So we're inside an inverted gap as well. And it's like that. There's a lot of gaps here on Bitcoin in this area. So this is a really good setup happening here for Bitcoin. So if we can come down a little further, and the reason why I want to come down a little further is because if I put the fib on this move to this high, we're looking for 50 to 62% retrace, which puts us into this sweet spot area here. So if we can come down into here, that would be a really good entry to continue going back up. And here we are coming into that sweet spot area now. So can we come a little lower? So essentially, let me take the fibs off. So, okay, so I'm probably missing it now, but move. So they've swept the guys in here. So that's enough. So I hesitated again and missed the opportunity to jump in. So you have to be really quick. You have to be really quick. Yesterday, I touched on the importance of being malleable in the market. You have to be non-rigid. You can't be rigid in the market. You have to be able to quickly change your mind. You have to be able to quickly adapt to the different movements in the market. A lot of times you think something's going to happen, and if you stick to what you think is going to happen, it might do something else. And so you have to be able to move with how the market flows. So, thinking here that we were at the bottom perhaps, and that we could go up at that point. If it breaks that low, you have to be flexible and say, okay, I'm wrong here, so let's change our minds and move with the market. And so this move now, retrace, this is the ideal, this looks a lot better, and so this would be a go. But you have to be nimble, you have to be quick sometimes, and we're on the 1 minute chart, so it doesn't give you much chance sometimes to get in. Other times it might sit in here for a while and give you lots of opportunities. But that can also be treacherous, because if price comes in this area and sits in here for too long, it's not a good sign. You want to see them jump in and boom, take off like that. This is the ideal scenario. So can we still get into this place? Certainly, right? We've broken this high. So we could expect a retrace again, and another opportunity perhaps to get in to go.
Okay,
So if you really want to
about 3
trade
minutes to 10.
Okay, so 3 minutes before Mr. Trump trumpets, blows his horn, as it were. So the little move in here, for them to come back into the 50 to 60% sweet spot of this move, was to sweep the buyers here, right there. They swept these guys in here. Anyone who put stops on, they were taken out. This move up now, we could look for another retrace, and this is what's happening if you wanted to jump in. So we've got an order block here.
Wow.
There it is. So they've actually come right back down to almost where they started. So this would be a buy opportunity on Bitcoin at this point, if one was willing to take a stab. And I'm a bit too slow again. Let's see if we can come back in one more time. So if I miss it, like I want to catch it in a nice spot. So if I'm too slow, then I will let it be. So I could be nickel and diming myself at this point, but I'm looking for them to come back in one more time to take out this low. So will they take this low one more time? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. NAS still has not fallen through yet, eh?
No.
So our NAS is still not a play to the upside yet on the NAS. They're looking like they want to take that low out still. So we have to be patient here. Don't want to go in long at this point. Could have been a play to short at this down, but so still looking for them to come down one more time. So they do that. They're hanging around, so it's likely that they're going to do that. It's likely they're going to take that low because they are hanging around a little bit long here. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 top right there. And 1, 2, 3 can be 2 candles. It can be 3 candles or more. So it can be 2 candles or more for 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 candles making that 1, 2, 3. So we drop. So
Yes.
I would still expect that move
Are you
down.
in the car? Okay, what you do is get one of those carts that they have.
Please mute yourself, George. It's me.
Okay. Bye.
Try to mute yourself, George.
Pardon?
Try to mute yourself.
The call. Okay. Okay, I got one lot. Now let's see what the heck they're gonna do.
Okay, so I'm still waiting for them to drop it one more time. They are hanging around, so it looks likely that they might want to do that.
Bank of Canada apparently has something good to say. It's pushing it higher.
Okay, so Mr. Trump is speaking now. So we are going much higher than would have thought. Got a 1, 2, 3 here. We've dropped. They're chopping it up. So this looks like a sell now to come back down to take out the lows, unless we're going to get a some divergence of some kind here. No, it doesn't. No divergence on S&P. How's Tesla looking here? Still very tough on Tesla. We do have a 1, 2, 3 bottom on Tesla right now. So that could push Tesla back up to take out the highs. Do have 5 waves down. So looking pretty good for Peter there, if he's not already in.
Yep.
Well, this is a tempting sell here on the NAS right now.
Come on, give me another shot.
I'm going to sell this because I think they're going to come back down. I'm selling it just because I think they're going to drop it back down here. So I'll put my stop just above the high here, so my risk will be relatively small. Or they're going to be merciless and take me out one time here. I'll keep my stop there because I don't want to go into drawdown. If I get taken out, I get taken out. But looking for them to drop it here. So Bitcoin did not come back below that low. So they've gone up and taken out the high. So the expectation that they would drop it one more time did not occur. So scenario is looking like they want to continue going up here, possibly. And I say possibly because the indices are a little bit weak, right? So it is possible for for Bitcoin to fall again. So I'm going to take a quick partial here. Go take a quick partial and move my stop down to a more palatable area. And let's see if we can continue right down and take out the lows. I've got a inverted gap here. So on the right-hand side of my screen, I've got my last 3 4-hour candles. So the current 4-hour candle opened. Let's see where we opened. I think that was not too long ago that we opened right there. Yeah. So the last 4-hour candle we opened right here at 9 o'clock Eastern. And we went up a little bit. Came down. We went back up a little bit. That created our wick right there. That was our wick creation. And then we created a 1, 2, 3 top, and we were all in the body all the way down. So essentially, this wick creates our structure. So, or the wick is part of our structure. That gives us that 1, 2, 3, and then we drop down. And that's what we're seeing here. This whole move is the body, and we're creating a tail at this point, but we're not done yet. So we've chopped up and down here. So we're looking for them to come down one more time, take out this low. That's giving us that push down right now. So that's what the 4-hour candle tells us, gives us that. And so if you watch the 4-hour candles, it gives us the bias for our direction. So they've taken out the previous 2 candle lows, and we're going way down, looking for them to continue coming down to take out this low still. It could be wrong, of course, but that looks like that's a trajectory that we're heading in. I'm going to put my stop into positive so there's no loss on this trade. If I can put it to $100 there. So Bitcoin is going the opposite way, interestingly. So I was looking for one more drop here to take out the low. I would have bought here to go back up, but instead they went back up. So now we get a retrace again. So another opportunity possibly to jump in, but I'm not liking it because the indices are falling. So this looks more like we should fall rather than go. So it looks like I've hit my target on NAS. Yeah, there we go. So that right from selling it up here to target here, perfect, right? And that's just believing in the structure. So our structure is just that. We get our 1, 2, we get our 1, 2, 3 here. This is our 2 and our 3 here. And then we look for the move down, and then we look for a retrace and price to break this low at that point there. So this is the structure. We get our 1, 2, 3. We look for that move down, and then we look for price to break that low again. So this is the entire move. But in this leg here, which is this leg here, we also have a structure move. So that's what tricks us, and it can trick me as well. It tricks me as well. They do the same structure move in here. You can see it's very quick, and then they chop it all up in here. And so the expected move, rather than everybody's jumping in to go long here, and they get fooled into going long. So everybody puts their stops below these lows, and then they get taken out on this move down. So it's a trick move that they do all the time in here. And so lots of traders are going long. And of course, with our 1, 2, 3, you can be fooled readily because you get a 1, 2, 3 at this point. It looks really good. You've got your stop below the low. So it looks really good that oh yeah, I'm good, I'm going. It's, I should be able to take out these highs up here and so forth, but not so, because it's just a ploy to trick you to go long.
Okay, at this point, Lennox, I've touched on the NAS, my 1, 2, 3 from the top. I've hit 162%. I mean, it could be going lower because I've got a nice gap in here.
Well, let's see if I go back
I'm
up to
on
the
a 15-minute chart.
Yeah, so on the 15-minute, we've come very close to the midpoint of our gap. So that would be a turning point here. So on the 1 minute time frame, are we done? You have to ask your question, are we done going down now, or do we go a little bit further? So if you can pinpoint your structure, then that will help to
It's
let you
kind of
know.
looking that we're close, but boy,
yeah, it's tough here
it's
because
not.
it's hard to see our structure, but it looks like we could drop one more time into that into that midpoint area here.
Could easily hit 200%. Well, that would be going below the gap.
And they might just wick it.
Oh,
might
well,
just
there's
turn into a
another
wick. So you
gap
see
down here too. I missed.
So we are touching the midpoint of the gap now. So this could just turn into a wick or a tail. I wouldn't expect them to go through the gap on the 15. So let's see again. But it is possible that they can do that, right?
Yeah, because there's another gap down below that one on the 15, and it's almost to the order. Well, it's at the top of the order block.
So we're well below our 50% area. There is another gap here.
Yeah, so it's heading for that gap right now.
Yeah, so I didn't think that this one would come into play, but it is. It might. I mean, this can still turn into a tail here. They don't have to go any further. So we can watch it on the 1 minute, and then we can see, and it looks like it's a possibility. So you can see Bitcoin, again, was not a play to the upside. So this would have been a quick play. If I'd gotten in here, that would have been a quick play to that level to get out, not to continue going up. And so we get a 1, 2, 3 top. So they're coming down to take out the lows as well. So this is how they can trick you.
Yes, 2 would be fine.
It's very tricky playing here. This is no longer in play.
Yeah.
This was our first gap on Bitcoin at the beginning of the morning, and we came right back up into it there, and then rejected to the downside. But these gaps here, so it looks like we're going to continue a little lower for Bitcoin. It looks like they could take out this low as well. So back to the NAS. All right, so see how they haven't gone through the gap, really. We're still kind of right on the lip of it, bottom lip. So this could be a fractal that turns us back to the upside here.
From a news point of view, U.S. issues new Iran-related sanctions. That's all I know.
So nothing about Trump, eh?
I would assume that he has to be involved. I think he's over at Saudi Arabia now, but I'm not sure.
Bissett is, not Trump. Bissett is.
Sorry, Peter?
Trump's not over there. Bissett is.
Okay.
It looks like we're stalling on the 15-minute time frame. It touched 200%, but it's now back inside the top gap. Whoops! It just went through the. I spoke too soon. It's going below that gap, so the next gap down is fair game, I would say, at this point.
So far
It's
this
on
morning.
The 15-minute NAS, Lennox.
Yeah.
And there's a tempting 1 hour gap as well.
So my one loss this morning. And then, so that would wipe that out, basically, those two. And so that gives me 2, 3 to 4, maybe five, about a 5,000 profit so far. So not bad for a quick few trades there in the morning. So you've got on the NAS, you're talking about an hourly gap, and there.
Yeah, that matches for 15 minutes, I guess, does it?
Yeah, there's an hourly. There are two of them actually. There's another one there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are 2 hourly gaps, and it looks like the 15-minute and the hourly gaps are going to hold. We're getting a little bit of a wick here. So again, the key thing to remember is your overall structure. So if you can see the overall structure, if you can make sense of it, then that. So in this leg here, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to buy now, right? We want a 1, 2, 3 bottom. So you can either be jumping in on the fractal like I like to do, or you can wait for a 1, 2, 3 to go. So if we consider this to be the bottom at this point, and if we can see the structure in here, and sometimes it's really difficult to see it, but this level. So that's why I use the seconds chart, because the seconds chart helps to see the structure quite clearly. So it looks like we could come down and take this low one more time. That's a possibility. So if we fail to...
That's the only thing that I'm concerned about, is that we haven't safely left the area where it's not going to touch that.
So I mark off the gaps. There's an inverted gap here, so that could come into play. So in order for us to turn around to feel good that we're turning around for sure, we need to break these highs here, come back up, retrace. Is an inverted gap, so we could drop back into the inverted gap, and then that would give us our nice 1, 2, 3 bottom at that point for an entry to go. So if we fail to do that, we could certainly come back down and take out these lows first, and then we have to wait for a new 1, 2, 3. So this is where patience can come in. A lot of times, if I feel confident in this being the low, I will jump in on a breach of that high there, or that open of that candle there, and take the trade, because sometimes they don't pull back at all and they'll just take off without pulling back. So it all depends on how you analyze it and how you see it. If you feel that it's going to come back and take out that low, then it's not a good idea to do the fractal entry. So looking at Bitcoin, you see my expectation was that we were going to come back to take out these lows again, and we've got a 1, 2 there. We drop, and they're pushing all the way back up again. So are they really going to come back down to take out these lows, or what, right? So you have to be, again, really careful, because this whole thing now is a 1, 2. So we could be just leaving to take out these highs. So yeah, again, you have to be able to be flexible. So we could do this and take out this high, retrace back in and go without coming back down to take out these lows. You have to look at it in different ways. And if you're not clear on what it's doing, then don't do anything. That makes it quite simple.
Alrighty.
Yeah, big time. That should be the first and foremost rule. Eh? If you're not sure, don't trade, because it's not worth it.
No trade is a good trade.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm in a wait and see mode on the NASDAQ. I haven't seen a clear turnaround. We'll see what happens at the
all right, so they're playing around in that
point
gap.
if we get some change of
Yeah, they're
theme.
playing around in this gap here. So will they go through it?
Yeah, my problem is that it could just as easily go down again because the 15 and 30 minute are still really in a downward mode.
This takes a little patience here. We'll see what it actually does. So Tesla has come back down back into its original gap that it made. Interesting.
Yeah,
So
I shorted Tesla.
yeah, so you got a 1, 2, 3 top up there and another large one. So yeah, that's a sell for sure.
Yeah, I caught that.
Excellent. So there's the
That's
gap.
good catch, Peter.
If I mark off the gap on Tesla, so we could be running right back down to midpoint of that gap before we start turning around again. Yeah, so there's a gap here, sorry, a 1, 2, 3 top there that could be in play, or this entire thing you use as a 1, 2, 3 and take the trade from that level. So, and the 1, 2, 3 from here to here is comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So that's our structure. Then we get this move in here. So this is a perfect 1, 2, 3 top, because it's comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and then the ABC, and that's what the structure looks like when you look at it intimately, like closely, macro level. When I draw it, I just draw it like this, but it's made up of a structure that looks like this, and this is exactly it right there. So if anyone wants to know what our model is in intimate mode, you would take a picture of this, because that's what you're looking for.
The 1 hour chart is that we're in a wave 4 down.
And you can see that we are heading down, and we should come down. We could come down quite a bit here, possibly, because our 1, 2, 3 is telling us that we could certainly come down ways. So on the hourly for Tesla, you can see we're still inside that big chop that we talked about earlier in the week and last week. We were in this chop, so the expected move would be back down to the lows, which we are doing, and then we could start looking for them to come back up to take out the highs. So
if you compress your chart, you'll see that we're in big wave 4.
And I don't even have to compress it. I can see that from this level here. So
yeah.
it is that move from the lows. And what Peter is pointing out is that if we look at it from the low point, this here, we've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We moved up, and then we chop A, B, C, D. So this would be our E leg, and maybe we're not done, possibly. And at this point, we could be ready now to go back up, take out the highs. But we have to wait for that 1, 2, 3 in here to do that. So it looks like it's setting up for that, Peter, at this point.
Yeah, if you scrunch your chart, like if you really compress your chart, you'll see the bigger picture, which is so you got to compress your chart.
So what I do, instead of doing that, I go up on another time frame. So if I go up to the hourly,
the I'm sorry, the hourly.
Yeah, so that's the hour. This is the 4 hour now. So on the 4 hour, we're also in a big, huge fourth wave.
Yeah,
if that's what you're referring to.
That's it.
Yes. So by going up to time frame, instead of crunching up I don't like crunching up the chart on the hourly, because you start kind of losing your way. So you need to go to a higher time frame to get the more bird's eye view of where you are. So on the 4 hour, this is the kind of picture that you're seeing. So we came from this high, and this gives us our 1, 2 up here. Then we drop into this level. So again, everything is pointing to possibility of these lows being taken.
Yep.
You see that?
I got it.
Yeah. So we've come down in this move, and now we're chopping up and down here. So we can go back up and take out these highs that we talked about just now. We can go up and take out those highs, come back up into these gaps here, but it's a move to the downside that's going to be imminent. So not liking that that that's going to occur, but that looks like that's a big possibility there.
I'll take that.
That's a nasty.
I love it.
I don't like it because that means something's bad's going to be happening.
Well, I don't love it for that fact, but I love it for my own trading fact.
But wouldn't it be better for us to just continue going up?
Well, yeah, to the moon, Alice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're optimists and we want to see good things happen, not bad things happen. So what this is telling us here is that yes, we can certainly in the short term go up, but long term we're heading back down to take out all these lows and continue down. So it looks like Tesla 200 is in the cards for, you know, maybe in June here. So
Lennox.
that's not good. Yes, sir.
The Trump news has been turned off until 1:30 this afternoon in Eastern time.
Okay. So I'm hoping I'm wrong there, Peter. I don't want to see us come down, you know, to these levels again, but it's a likely possibility.
No, philosophically, I agree with you, but subjectively, for my own trading, I'm assuming at some point we're going down. I like you, I don't want to see that happen, but I have to set up my trading, you know, to think a certain way.
So a short-term move to the upside to take out the highs is in the cards. Yeah. Possibly. I say possibly again because, you know, sometimes we don't get this move. Or if news comes out that's really bad, this thing could just collapse. So there's no guarantee that we're going to take out this high. So with our structure, we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So in Elliott wave terms, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. However, there's an 11% chance that number 5 does not take out number 3, and that occurs once in a while, you know, 11% of the time. So this is one of those occasions where we could see that come up close without taking these highs, and then we could collapse, and that means there's something really bad happening, because we usually want to see us go through and take those highs out.
I agree. Good
It's
enough.
interesting here, they tied it. So quite interesting there on Tesla. So we're getting that push to the upside. So you can start to see now the structure as we go down the time frames. They swept out everybody here. We get a nice, beautiful 1, 2, 3, big, huge push to the upside. Take out these guys here, pull back. So now we come back into this gap. Our expected move now is back to the upside to take out these highs. So if you can catch Tesla on a 1, 2, 3 bottom, then that would be the play. However, we're in a 1, 2, 3 coming down. So this is where it gets tricky, because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. We've moved up. We're coming back down. I would expect them to come down into this level because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. So this is what's controlling the move currently on this leg.
We have a gap on the 5-minute chart there.
Overall, this is what's controlling the move on this leg. So we are looking for price to go back up. But in the short term here, we're looking for price to fall one more time. So this is where people get messed up, because they can't see the structure. They don't understand the structure. They don't believe in the structure. And so they will jump in here and buy. And if you do that, then you are in jeopardy of getting taken out. Not that it's gonna happen, but would be the expectation that this will happen. There's no guarantee that this is going to happen, because remember, our structure can fail to break into a fifth wave. We could do that and go, but I would expect us to go through. So
Yeah, good analysis.
That's how it works. So on the 1 minute now, looking for them to come back down one more time, take out these lows. But believe me, there are a lot of traders right now. That's why there are buyers and sellers, right? A lot of traders who have gone long here.
I'm not one of them.
So let's see on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a great example of what I'm just talking about. So here is we get our low, we get this move up, and then we get a 1, 2, 3 here. So we would expect that we would take this low one more time, but they do not. And off we go. So this is where that doesn't occur. So what's going on? Why did they not give us another leg down here? The reasoning is that because we have one here, we only get A, B, and C here. So in this leg right here, it gave us 5 waves, albeit it's very quick. So you don't really see it unless you were down on seconds chart. You would see 5 waves in here, and even then, maybe it played out so quickly and turned around, and you can't even catch it or see it perfectly. And this is giving us that push out on Bitcoin. So once we break this level, we would look for a retrace. They didn't even retrace very much. We would expect a bigger, deeper retrace, but back down to this gap perhaps. But nope, they're just gone. So there's a lot of strength here, and it's gone. So if I'm playing, when I'm not chatting away here, and I'm looking at this, I'm expecting them to take this low on this move down. But if they don't, and I get a fractal, I can take the trade here and go, because I know they're gunning to take out the high. So you can be quick and nimble and catch quick profits by taking these kind of trades. So is NASDAQ not going to give us another drop? That's totally possible as well. You see, so it's the same kind of thing. Maybe we're done this move at this point, and now that's our 1, 2, 3 bottom. Looking pretty good. So since we're breaking this high, then that is a likely scenario. So Bitcoin is leading the way and leading the charge, and maybe Tesla will do the same thing and not give us that one more drop here. So you have to be really flexible again, because yes, I'm expecting them to come down and take the low, but doesn't mean that they're going to have to. So they could just do this and then go. So these guys might be safe in here who have bought. So that's what I mean about being flexible. There's our original gap. Okay, so I'll be looking for a retrace now of this move. So I'd like to see them come back into this gap, but they might not do that. Let's see what S&P did. S&P is doing the same thing. So S&P is quite strong, taking out the highs over here as well. So unless you get a retrace, this might be gone. Another gap here. This might be as much as they retrace into this gap, and then they continue going. So because I was looking for another possible drop here, I wouldn't have looked for an entry here. If it was possible that they could come down one more time, but today it said no, they're done. So breach, move up, retrace. Can we come down a little bit and take out these guys in here? There's lots of stops in here, so they can come all the way back. So now my 4-hour candle is just all tail here. So this is where you want to get in on the tail to continue going back up to take out the high. looking for them to take this low, which is, there are lots of stops under here and in here. And can we come back down? That would give us a nice opportunity for a buy to continue going up. There's the pullback. So buy opportunity as we drop in. So we'll see this, they've taken all these guys out. So now the question begs, is this just a fake? And they're going to actually come down now and take everybody out, right? Because that's still possible. That's still a possibility. So you cannot rule that possibility out. You know, you could jump in here and get stopped out and you wonder, why am I getting stopped out? And that's why, because they're actually not done and they're really going to come down and take out these buyers under here. So if this gap cannot hold us up, then that's a likely scenario or a possible scenario. You can see how things can change real quick. Got an inverted gap over here that's still in play. Get rid of these guys. So this is looking like a good opportunity for an entry here. They're doing it very quickly. So they don't want anybody to get in. They're sweeping everybody out, and they don't want anybody to get in, so they move away quickly. So you got to be quick and nimble in here. And so now if you get in, your risk becomes quite high, you know, by putting your stop on it, because you have nowhere else to put your stop here, right? So, you know, you're gonna have, everybody puts it below here. So you could be in jeopardy if we're wrong and they're coming back down to take out all these lows. So it's a very tough situation here, very tricky situation. So you got a 1, 2, 3 top.
They're playing with trying to come down right now.
Yeah, they're playing games here. So you have to be careful because you could get taken out easily. Will they take this low again? See? And the reason why they can take that low again is because we have a 1, 2, 3 top there. So we might not be done yet, and they could come down and take out this low. You see, they have the money to do that.
A second 1, 2, 3 from the low on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah, so you're saying this one and this one is in play. However, we could still come down. So you know that these guys have the money to do that. They have the money to come down, take out these lows to get better prices. So they can do that. And the longer they hang around here, the more opportunity it is for them to drop, the more likely it is for them to drop. So you don't want to bite the bait here at this point, take the bait, because they can still take you out. So as tempting as it is to jump in, you have to look at all the possibilities. So this might be setting Tesla up for that fall, possibly here.
I see it.
It's a possibility that they can turn it over and come back down. We would expect that because we have a 1, 2 here. So they're just kind of chopping it a little bit here. So we could come down, take these lows out.
It looks like we have a 1, 2, 3 top on the 5 minute chart.
So looking for them to come down and see what S&P is doing. So looking for any divergences on S&P. So S&P did take out this high. Did the NAS take out that high? No, did not. So we do have divergence here. See? So there's divergence with the S&P. S&P took out this high. NASDAQ could not. So that's quite interesting there. So are we done? Are we done? Is this a buy opportunity? Or are they still going to drop it one more time? If I were a betting man, I would think that we're going to come down, take out these lows again, and this one, and possibly that one. Possibly, I say. So marking the gaps, we've got a gap right here. We're just hanging around in it. We're hanging around in this gap here. That's another inverted gap there. So can we break through it?
Well, right now, an entry is at a 62% level.
Yeah, they're looking to take these lows out.
It's a possibility, but depends upon what they can pick up with this current down move.
This is where patience is a key here. Because if you jump in, a lot of people jump in early thinking, you know, yeah, we're going to go, but then they get taken out here, right? So when you have equal lows like this, it's very tempting for them to take you out. For whatever reason that is, I'm not sure what the main reason for equal lows being such a magnet, but perhaps it's because they realize that a lot of stops would be below the lows, so they can spend the money to come down and take you out, and this is what they're doing now.
They're trying for it right now.
Yeah, so they've taken these guys out.
They actually just missed it.
Well, they're not done yet.
This will be the shot that gets it. Nope, it missed it again. There you go.
So now the next guy is left over here. So will they take those ones? And it looks like, yeah, they take those guys as well. So then there's only one left now. These guys here. So will we take that low as well?
They take that low. It's a different change in plans.
Yeah, then we have to wait for a new setup. So they might not take this low.
On the 15-minute now, it looks like we are hovering slightly above another gap and doing some way forward thing there.
Yeah, we're still kind of stuck in that 1 hour gap here, and there's a lower gap, but we're kind of doing a wave 4 thing here. You guys, you're rightfully so, like you're saying. We're kind of chopping up and down here. So it is possible for them to come and take out this low one more time and then drop us into this 1 hour gap here, which has got a order block here. So we could come quite a ways down into that. That's totally possible. And it's also possible that we don't come down there at all. So, our structure is telling us that we're very close to a bottom here. So maybe, we are done at this point. It's looking pretty good that we should be basically done here, but they can still come down one more time because they don't have enough quota orders to leave. So So this is where, again, patience really, really pays. So because they took all these guys out here, these guys out in here, you know, there's only one really, I mean, below every low, below and above every high, there's liquidity. So all these areas are liquidity because lots of stops are sitting under here, right? So they can still push down to get them. This is the last line of defense here. So this could have been a sell from this area here. You know, this fractal could have been a sell to the downside at that point, just the same way I sold it up here. I could have, you know, but I thought maybe this might be the bottom, and we were ready to go. But then once they start moving around, you can I realize, wait a minute, they're not done. You know, so, and that comes with you know, a little bit of experience to be able to see what they're doing, but sometimes it's not easy to see.
No,
Very
they
difficult to
don't appear
explain.
to be done yet.
These guys are gone. I'll take off these gaps. So there's this one inverted gap here that's still holding us up. So do we go lower and take out these two now and this one?
Well,
Or are we done? So the only way we're going to be done is if we can take out this
trying
high.
to pull us higher, but it's having a struggle doing it.
But to be totally mechanical about this is to look at it like in this way. So this is the previous high. So and this is the previous low. So which one did they take? If they take the high, then it's likely that we will go. If they take the low, then it's likely that we're going to continue down. Right. So that's as simple as it is. You know, you only have basically two choices there.
And it looks like we're going to take out this low. Well, the current low, which is only a couple candles away.
Yeah, they're heading down. So otherwise, we do have a 1, 2, 3 bottom, but they're coming so low. That's it. They're taking it out. So this is no longer a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And now the last line of defense is here. So this is the last bunch of stops. So will they go and take it?
Trouble.
If they don't go down and take it, then what it's telling us is that this entire move is a 1, 2, 3, and we're ready to go. So they don't have to take this low, because that could be themselves with their stops here too, right? So we shall see here. So now that we've swept this area, we would look for them to take out this high in order for us to be going back up, retrace. That gives us our 1, 2, 3 at that point. So that's all we're looking for at this point then, if that's the case. If they come back and take this low again, then we're heading down, right? And again, it's as simple as it is. But so when I'm playing, that's all I'm looking at. I'm looking at the previous high, the previous low. This is basically a leg. This whole thing from this high to this low is a leg. You know, this whole move from here to here is a leg. You know, this move from here to here is a leg. So you're looking at each leg, and you're formulating a plan of attack. You know, and what are they doing in those legs? You know, What are they actually doing? And the whole key to it is the structure. So if you can see the structure, then you have a fighting chance. But if you can't see the structure or you don't believe in the structure, then yeah, it's a whole different ball game. I was just looking at Bitcoin. I was just about to jump in and take a trade here, and I decided to go back to NAS and talk about it. But that was the opportunity right here to jump in. So they've broken the high. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They come down, they sweep everybody out, they go back up, take out the previous high, drop back in. This is a buy opportunity. They sweep it again, drop back in. This is a buy opportunity to go. So that's basically all you're doing. So now we've swept the high. So it's a buy opportunity now because they've swept the low, they've swept the high. So if we can get a retrace, then that's a buy opportunity. So they're sweeping this high as well. So now I would look for a retrace. So it doesn't look like they want to take this low. So we've got an inverted gap from way over here. That's the only gap we have on this side. There's nothing here. There's one that's forming now as we speak. So I could use this one. But this is not a gap until this candle closes. So did Tesla come down or no? No. So Tesla did not come down to challenge that low. So essentially they did it very quickly, sweeping these guys here, and that was it. So they're not coming down, it seems, into this area. So it looked like that was what they were going to do. They said no. Lots of stops under here, lots of buyers. And they're leaving maybe without taking them. Interesting. So
they were trying to go positive on the 2-minute chart, but it hasn't quite done it yet.
So I would look for a retrace now. So again, I'm just looking for about a 50% retrace. There we are, right about 50% right there.
That's right in the middle of the gap, which was quite a while ago.
And they're going lower. So maybe they're not done, see?
Maybe
so they can come
not.
and take these guys out. They're very good.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys are good. You think for a moment that you're safe. So looked pretty good, but they didn't stop. So they did have their eyes on that low.
They took out that next low.
Yeah, so they did have their eyes on that low. This was just a little ruse to entice traders to go in long.
What has gone on?
Yeah, so a lot of traders, and I could have been caught there as well, because they sweep this low, they go back up, sweep this high, sweep this high, sweep this high, come back in. Everybody's piling in now, looking for that move. You see? It's just a ploy. It's beautiful on their part. That catches all these guys in here now who pile in to go along. It's perfect. It's a perfect play on their part.
From a news point of view, Lennox, Trump says he just concluded a rare earth deal with Ukraine.
If they have any earth left.
Rare earth deal.
If they have any earth left.
Yeah, well,
after
if they do, it's rare.
Yeah, it's going to be radioactive, you mean?
Oh, they sure got a lot of scrap steel lying around.
Yeah, and they might have lots of radioactive dirt.
Yeah.
After Ukraine gets bombed by a nuclear weapon, bunch of morons.
By these depleted uranium.
Yeah, so there we go. So you see how the ruse here is to and maybe Tesla is doing the same thing.
Wow.
So you see, it's a ruse because they know that they can sucker everybody in to go along in here. And so everybody piles in. This looks great. Let's go. And then they come down and take everybody out. See? So because we have this 1, 2, 3 here, you cannot discount the fact that they're going to take this low out. It's our structure. And I'll go over this 1,000 times, but there are not many believers in this. So this is the ploy. They chop it up, and they take everybody out. This is what they do all the time. And it's, I keep telling you, but a lot of people don't believe it until they see it. So this is what's going on. So anytime you have a 1, 2, 3 top, anytime you can see your 1, 2, 3 top, this is what's controlling the move. This is what's controlling the chart. So if you see that and you get the drop, you have to expect that they're going to take this low out. This is a secret to it. So when they do this and that and this and that, and it looks, oh yeah, everybody's thinking, oh yeah, we're going, yeah, yay. But it's not so until they take this level out. Not happening. So this is kind of a safe haven area here where they shouldn't really come back into it. And then they roll over and come down and take everybody out. This is what you call you have that term, Peter. I always forget what you call it. The rollover equilibrium.
Price equilibrium or consolidation.
Yes. So price comes back to equilibrium, consolidation, rolls over. That's exactly what this is.
But we took out the 1 hour gap almost.
On the NAS?
There's another one south of that.
Yes. So hourly on the NAS, we've come right into that 1 hour gap. So that was an expected possibility that we could do that. And we have on the 15, you see we have a gap and an order block. And like I said, we could come all the way down into it. And they did that because this was in jeopardy here, those stops. So they're very sneaky, but this is what they do. So now I'll be more looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom to go back up now.
Yeah.
So like I said, this could have been a play from this area down. This could have been a play from this area down. So I played it down here. Was almost tempted to go along here because I thought maybe we were done, but I thought, no, you know what? They're probably not done. They might go down and take this low out again because I can't really see my 1, 2, 3 in here that clearly. So I was a bit skeptical that they were done here. And sure enough, they come back, take everybody out. But this was a nice fake here. This induced a lot of buyers here. And the reason why is, especially ICT guys, they see a sweep. So when they see the sweep and they see a sweep here, they're all piling in now because they think, oh yeah, this is it. We're off, right? It's a great fake. And this is, again, they're doing it here. So we could see them take the low again here. We're not done yet. And that Bitcoin move, it was quick. You in, they break that high, you're out. You can't expect them to continue because they can come back against you quick and take out these lows. And that's what they're doing, you see? So you have to be nimble, you have to be quick, you can't be looking greedy and going for long plays, especially on this time frame. So we're just kind of snaking along here on Bitcoin. And they're pointing to these lows. They might go back down, take out these lows. Same thing as the NAS is doing. We could come back down and take these lows out again. That's possible. That's the 5 minute. So if you can see your 1, 2, 3 top, then you have a fighting chance of figuring out what they're likely doing. So I can see a 1, 2, 3 top here, and then they drop. So once you see that and they drop, we know what to expect, right? Once you see a 1, 2, 3 top and they drop, you know what to expect from here. If you get it, then you know what to expect. That they can pull back up and they can come back and take these lows. So they can pull up, they can come back, take the low. They can pull up, they can come back and take the low. They give you a 1, 2, 3 top, they drop, they pull back, they can come back and take the low. So they can do this over and over and over, but it's always inside the structure. So you have to be able to keep the structure. When does the structure end? The structure ends when this structure ends. that's the key to it, but it's very tricky. So that's why I come down to the 1 minute time frame, because I can see this at the end of the structure. So here's my 1, 2, 3 at this point. We've dropped. So because they've dropped to this level, I'm expecting them to come and take this low again. So I would not be enticed to go long in here, because they can come up here and we can still drop one more time to take this low. We're inside a gap from the hourly, in the middle of the gap, so they can still take this low and not violate the gap. They can just wick it, just give us a tail and candle. So this low is in jeopardy here. And remember what I said earlier, you have to be flexible. Otherwise, you're toast. So I'm waiting for the perfect setup now, because first of all, I've made nice profits. I don't want to give it all back. And second of all, it's the best thing to do is to wait patiently for the right setup if you can, right? Two of the hardest things to do. Wait patiently. So here they come again. They look to take out these lows. I'm watching Bitcoin for a setup here for a possible entry as well. So we'll see if I can catch it. They're doing a similar thing. They're looking to come and take another low out right here into this gap, which has already been partially taken out. So, and they've taken that low. So that's a sweep. So they could be done now on Bitcoin. So what I can do at this point, again, now is wait for them, for this leg to be taken or a retrace like that. That's a possibility like that. If this is the bottom. And I say if, because there's no guarantee that that's the bottom. Even though it looks pretty good that I have my structure in play. So that looks pretty good here. That could be the bottom. We've come back. That's my structure going up, and I get the structure coming down. So it looks pretty good that this could be the bottom here on Bitcoin. So when I feel really strongly about it, then I would jump in. I would jump in on the fractal at this point. Just jump in when price breaks the open of that candle, because I get in early and I catch the move. I can take profits off, wait for the retrace, get back in and go. So I can do it double whammy here. So that would have been the play right there. Talking about it, I could have jumped in at that point, expecting that move up. So you can see how quickly you can make profits. You can jump in, you can take profits off real quick, and then move your stop to break even. I like to move it to the positive if I move it, and then, you know, wait for a retrace and go.
Okay, good.
So NAS still looks pretty flat here. We could still fall one more time. So there's lots of sellers on the, or buyers under here.
It's trying to pull itself up now, but it
Lots of
hasn't
buyers.
succeeded yet.
Yeah, there are a lot of buyers here, and remember, we still have a 1, 2, 3 top here. So we know where we are, right? You don't want to be fooled into buying in here. I can get rid of these guys. These are no longer of any consequence. So how is Tesla doing? Tesla still hasn't broken that low yet. Still expecting them to come down, take out the low. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to do that, but I would expect them to do that. So now we have a 1, 2, 3 top on Tesla. We're just chopping. So we're still expecting them to take these lows out. You see how simple that is? It's just, that's all it is. We get our 1, 2, 3, we drop. So as soon as we start moving back up, we expect them to take this low. That's it. That's it. But they'll do all kinds of stuff in here to entice you to go along before they do it. So they're enticing us to go along. Yeah, and maybe they are done, right? It's possible, because remember, our structure sometimes does not give us that break. We don't get that drop back down. We just get a move back up. So that can happen. And that's usually because we have divergence with S&P, because we're on the NAS. So if S&P broke this low, then this is a legitimate move on the NAS. So let's see if S&P did break that low. No, it did not. Okay, so right now where they're both doing the same thing. So if S&P had broken the low, then that S&P gave us our structure, and we would expect S&P to do this and go, but NASDAQ would just do this and go. So because they didn't break the low, then we could still expect them to come down and take the low. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to. So that's where it gets tricky. It's just the expectation that it will. It's like with options, eh? When you play the options game, it's unlike buying a stock, because with a stock, when you buy a stock, you own the stock, right? You own it. But with options, you don't own it. You just borrow it. So you have an obligation. You have a right to own, to buy the stock, but you don't have an obligation to own it, is what the options mean. You have a right to buy it, but you don't have the obligation to own it. But when you buy the stock, you own it. Your obligation is that you own it. And that's something like this, where just because they make this move doesn't mean that they have to come back down and take this low. There's no obligation for them to do that. Yes, they have lots of sellers here, and it's enticing for them to do that, right? For them to come back down and take them out, but it doesn't mean that they have to. There's no obligation for them to do that. They can just do this and take off if they have their quota. You know, I say they, I don't know who they are. Market makers, well, whoever they are, right? Big funds, whoever they are. So are we done? Do we come back down one more time? We can't take this high. It can still come down, right? Let's see Bitcoin again. So Bitcoin's made quite the move here. So now that I've got
Just a minute.
that move sweep, I could look for a retrace again to continue going back up. So let's see if I can get a retrace on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's presenting a nice buy opportunity here. So let's see if I can catch something here, possibly. So I'd look at 50% retrace of this move to help me. So there would be my guide. So 50% takes me back down to this area. So I don't want to jump in up here. Like there's a gap here, but this is way above 50%. So I want to see them come back below 50% ideally. They don't have to, of course, but that's the ideal. Am I making any sense, guys? Tell me I'm making some sense here.
I'm looking to make dollars, not cents.
Well, I haven't made any money in a while. I've just been chatting away. But there hasn't been any real, you see, there hasn't been any really good setups to,
Yeah,
I mean, you
true.
you could take some of these trades really quickly and so forth, but I don't really want to show that kind of, I do that when I'm by myself and I want to just quickly scalp. I want to show the proper setups, try to get a proper setup and so forth, because showcase what our model really is. But things move so quickly, sometimes nothing wrong with jumping in. Like here's our beautiful 1, 2, 3. Nothing wrong with jumping in and taking that trade. You can get out right there and you're done. Those kind of moves you can do. You can even play from here down, but it's risky. You can play here down. It's risky. You certainly play back to the upside. So these, once you start to, and Peter, we talked about that yesterday. You're saying you see a 1, 2, 3, and you're just jumping in and going, because anytime there's a 1, 2, 3, you can take it, because it's going to give you the money. It doesn't even have to be in the perfect position. It doesn't have to be at a low or a high or anything like that. It can, a 1, 2, 3, just like this. If you're brave enough, you can make real quick money, because you're looking for it to go and take out that previous high. So you can jump in and catch that move.
Yes.
Even in the middle, a 1, 2, 3 like this, you see that move, you can say, wow, okay, I already had a 1, 2, 3 down here, and I've gotten 5 waves. I got a retrace on there's a 1, 2, 3. I'm taking that move. So lots of opportunities to jump in. But you have to be careful, because they can take you out real quick too. So
Okay,
I'm looking for a retrace, but they might not give me one. Okay, so we're coming close to taking that high out. So we see the S&P has taken this high. So that could likely mean that we're not going to get this drop like we're expecting, that we might not get this move back down that we're expecting. Since they did not do it here, they left these guys all alone, interestingly. There's lots of stops here. Lots of stops under here. So they've come up and taken the stops here on the S&P. Did they do it on the NAS? Not yet. So now they have. So we've taken out the highs. All right, so now we would expect a retrace of this leg here, just this leg here. So looking for about it just barely took it. So looking for about a 50% retrace for this leg. So there's a gap right here. So that's a reasonable area for them to come back to. There's also one below. That would be even better.
I've completed 4 trades without a loss.
George is just winging it here, eh? Yeah, there are opportunities in here to make trades for certain. Well, This is a very dangerous trade here, George, that you took. I'm certain you took this 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
bottom
I
here,
know.
right? That's a dangerous one because it was possible that they might not even come up this high and we could just go back down. So it's a
You're
risky play.
absolutely right on that score, boy.
Yeah, it's a risky play, but you can see it is playable because but you are taking a big risk doing that. So I don't want to show that kind of a trade, but yes, you could take that trade. But the likelihood of you being successful in this one is not high. But in this case, it did work. We're still looking for a pullback here. Got my 50% of this leg marked off. 50% is right in this gap here. So if we can come back in here, then this might present a buy opportunity because they certainly doesn't look like they want to take that low out. So if I go back to the 15, that could be our bottom. And we're looking for on the 15-minute time frame, we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 here to continue going up. Something like that. On the 5-minute time frame, it would be like
Tesla's in a wave 4 on the 1-minute chart.
Like that. On the 1 minute. Yeah, so it's looking like they're not going to go down and take that low. But again, it could be a ploy. But we're still in that 4th wave area, so care has to be taken. So when you shrink up the chart, this 1, 2, 3 again is still in control. We've dropped to this low, and now they're chopping. We're inside a channel, this level, so they can still drop it down. Not out of the woods here with Tesla. But if you see you're at 283.5 here, or whatever, and you see the opportunity that they're going to come down and take out these lows, you could certainly play that down to 280, and that's 3 points. So if that's reasonable for you, then you can certainly do that. If you get a 1, 2, 3 here and 1, 2, 3 here, you can certainly play that back to the upside. So there are opportunities to play, but you have to be nimble. But you have to also realize where you are, and you're taking risk by doing that trade.
I posted my 5-minute chart, Lennox.
Okay, so these guys are not turning around at all. They're not even giving us a retrace. So there's a lot of strength here in this move. So it's looking like this was the bottom, and they're not giving us that 5th wave. They swept the lows, gave us a 1, 2, 3. Now they're sweeping the high. This is a big change of character. So it looks like they could reach for this high first before they even give us a retrace. And that's okay. So you wait, and you catch a bigger move. If we get the retrace, you can get even better move going back up to take out. If they don't take this high, for instance, we can still get a nice move to go up.
See, we don't really have a 1, 2, 3 to go up at this point on just looking at the 5-minute chart.
It was there earlier.
Well, yeah, but that was earlier.
Yeah, so I was really expecting another drop here to take these guys out.
On the 10-minute chart. We have a fractal on the 30-minute chart, but it's still not a positive turn to the upside.
Oh, wow. It's 20 minutes after 8 o'clock my time here. I'm on the Pacific Coast. And again, for those traders out there on YouTube land, give us a like, subscribe to our channel if you so desire. This is all for educational purposes. We're not expecting anyone to take our trades. So you do so at your own risk. But we do appreciate you joining us. So I'm 21 minutes after the hour here. I think I'm going to call it a day, guys.
Good analysis, Lennox.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So quite interesting here. So they're taking out the highs here on Tesla. So nice plays there, but be careful. Be careful out there, guys. It's looking like they don't want to take this low. Quite interesting. So that gives us a 1, 2, 3 at this point, and they could continue now and take out these highs. So if that's the case, you could still catch out any retraces to continue. This would be in a very abrupt end to this fourth wave when we were expecting another drop, but they're not giving it to us. So quite interesting there. NASDAQ, I'll be waiting for a retrace still to catch the big move. I'm on the 5-minute here, so this would be a better entry and a better move, and you can stay in this trade all the way up to these levels here. So look for the retrace, and it will give you a better opportunity. That would be what I would be looking for here. I'm going to go back to sleep for a while here, and I'll see how it plays out when I wake up.
Thanks, Lennox.
All right. So on that note,
have a good one, Lennox.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for.
Have a good rest of the day, everybody. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate it.
It's been a very good day so far.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you,
Carmen,
Lennox.
thanks for dropping in. We'll see you guys. Take care.